Hubs. Everyone loves a good hub. Wait, no, not that one. The kind of hub that makes you feel at home before you go out and do some quests, fight some enemies. So today, I'll be talking about two of my favorite hubs in video games, starting with... Starting with... Quick preface here. When I say video game hubs, they distinctly have to be hubs in their own space. They have to be their own thing, separate from the main gameplay. So if a hub is part of an open world, like, yeah, that's cool. But it's not necessarily what I'm referring to today. Also, I've narrowed down what makes a great hub in video games for these reasons. Purpose of the hub: interactivity / things to do, attention to detail, and as a bonus, Easter eggs / secrets. So without further ado, let's take a quick tour of the first hub, the Space Rig. Deep Rock Galactic is a fantastic game in its own right. Phenomenal gameplay loop, strong and beautiful art style, banger soundtrack, intense solo or co-op extraction missions with some of the most satisfying gunplay in modern gaming. However, the package is not complete without DRG's very own Space Rig. Genuinely, I can say that the Space Rig will go down as a lot of people's #1 hub in gaming. Because if you've played this game before, you'll know why I love it so much. And if you haven't, well, I'm glad you're here. Let me tell you about it. It is one of the most perfectly densely packed hubs in all of games. It's neither too big nor too small. So, shout out to Ghost Ship Games, because they couldn't have made this hub any better. The purpose of the Space Rig is to select your next mission and get after it, but of course the game is more nuanced than that. The interactivity consists of you having your own personal quarters to unlock perks, check your in-game stats, change characters. It is your room every time you start the game. You got a terminal to load up your gear, improve your weapons, swap perks around to, create different builds. Pick up assignments to complete for bonus rewards. DRG also has its own mineral trading system. Buy when prices are low, sell when prices are high. Its very own mini stock or rock market. Wipe out during a mission? Respawn at the medbay in the hospital gown with little robots tending to you, and a monitor to show you total deaths while playing the game. Man, I haven't even gotten to the best part, the bar. This game lets you drink before your next mission. And it's just so funny landing and coming out of the drop pod drunk as hell. The Space Rig also comes with its own jukebox and a ton of different dances. Legend has it, you can even channel your own Bully McGuire. You see a barrel? You can kick it. Kick it into the landing pad. Kick it into an incineration death hoop as a minigame. Remember Flappy Bird? Behind the bar, they got Jetty Boo Arcade. The Flappy Bird equivalent. Yeah, man, the Space Rig is loaded with things to interact with, which, in my opinion, really adds to the immersion. When a world is just there, nothing to move, touch, or change, then it might look lively and full, but if I can't directly be involved with it, then it just feels shallow. Interactivity kind of goes hand in hand, but attention to detail is so in-depth, man. You can tell how much passion was put into this game because it feels like every piece of it was intentional. The beauty of Hoxie's, the planet you go to extract resources from and you can see through the window, is just absolutely stunning to look at. The tubes you can tap... Oh, whoopsie. The tubes you can tap based on the current season's theme. The weapons bench with all kinds of guns lying around, the pickaxe builder where you can customize your main tool, propaganda posters advertising the job, and the commitment to DRG, the company itself. Literally partially eaten Chinese take on the table. Even the mugs from the beer tap. Every mug tells you something about what you're about to drink, and I legit want these mugs in real life. If you can make these, let me know. I will pay you for your services, you crafty bastard, you. Everything, man, it's just so detailed. Crafted with passion, love for every pixel. Finally, we come to the Easter eggs / secrets. Now, I'm not showing everything because I want to leave some of the satisfaction of seeing things for the first time to others. I'm hoping I can convince you to check this game out for yourself if you haven't already, either alone or with friends. But I'm not showing everything also because I myself haven't found everything. But here's what I can tell you. A lot of the beers got their own magical properties that make your dwarf react a certain way. Apart from getting drunk, of course. Some will make you bigger and your voice deeper. Another will teleport you briefly so you can, look at Hoxie's at a little better view.
Faster than lightning!
There's also a soccer game you can set up, put the goals down, and you and a buddy can have a mini game while you wait for somebody else to load in. And perhaps there's a button you can press on some high scaffoldings that can trigger a certain event. And to top it all off, it's not super secret, but it is special. You have the Memorial Hall. I won't say much about it, except give some real world backstory here. The Memorial Hall was made by devs to thank the closed alpha testers via their username, those who consented to having their name shown. And I just think that's pretty neat. Deep Rock is a phenomenal game, but if its game hub was just menu options, I don't know, man. I don't think this game would slap the same. This really all could have just been menu options to toggle between, and I'm glad they did this instead. Now it's time to leave space and head back to Earth and land in a cute little backyard with one of the best multiplayer games I've ever had the privilege of playing. This game, man, is so near and dear to my heart. It is genuinely one of the best third-person shooters I have played during high school and still play to this day. My boy PVZ2 GW, that's Garden Warfare by the way, without GW, it's just a phone app, came out in 2016, and every time I come back to play, finding a multiplayer match takes less than 5 seconds, and I always find a full lobby. Whether it's a PvE co-op, wave-based survival, or the PvP play, you're gonna have a great time. But it's Game Hub, the Mona Lisa of gaming, I promise you. The team at PopCap Games deserve more money because they too crafted a banger of a hub. And I know bangers. Starting off again, the purpose of the backyard is to act as the central hub to hang out in and wait for friends to squad up and engage in actual intended gameplay. However, it also carries everything you're going to need to actually start playing and advancing game mechanics. In the backyard, they got the multiplayer portal on one end and the garden / graveyard ops on the other, so you can, I guess, run some multiplayer. But it also has a sticker shop to unlock the 3 C's: characters, consumables, and cosmetics. It's also got 2 TVs stacked on top of each other that allows you to start a split screen session. Split screen was a feature at launch and not something to patch in later. It's got a customization closet for your different plants and zombies, a centerpiece to see some stats and your characters in cute plushy form, the ones you have unlocked. And even though PvZ2 is predominantly multiplayer, it does come with its own set of single player quests that reward you in coin and just straight up are dumb fun. Interactivity here too, man, it's on a different level. In between backyards, you got a mini game of tower defense that escalates exponentially. You do it for the coins, but also you see what kind of enemies the zombies and or the plants have. There's chests everywhere scattered to unlock via stars earned by side objectives you pick up. Doable in both PvE and PvP. This is more towards attention to detail, right? But there's also a cannon you could be shot of to move a little faster into the center. Little notes written on desk, calendars with a workout split. Certain things in the environment are destructible too, like cars, lawnmowers, mailboxes, flamingos, etc. Again, really adding to the immersion of this being a real world and not just another husk of a hub. I'm immersed as a plant, man. Isn't that crazy? Well, maybe I am crazy. Oh, that's so dumb. There's a shooting gallery to compare high scores with people in your friends list. Pizza delivery time trials. Golly, I can go on, and that's just minigame things. A real neat thing about PvZ2, while having no direct campaign, is like I said, it does have NPCs that each come with their own goofy quest lines. And again, I don't want to spoil everything, but I gotta share something to entice you, right? So for the plants, one of my favorite missions was Zero Bark 30. The Corn's final mission for you to cover him in a COD style AC-130. And it's just so funny how they would include this. A reference to Zero Dark 30, you know, the events that led to the elimination of a certain someone in a kid's game of all things. For the zombies, I'll show you the Super Brain's final mission. I won't even talk over it because it would be a disservice. So just check this out, man. It's great. This game has so many little things like this, and I can really appreciate that even though this game is meant for kids, it's got the nuance and the competence to be played by everyone. After all, it's rated E for everyone, not limited to just kids. Finally, it's hard to narrow down Easter eggs and secrets, and I already brushed over a couple of them, but I can't go over everything because then we'd be here all day, you know? So I'll kind of just rapid fire them because I do love these things, and I'd hate myself if I didn't share them with you. Obviously, Super Brains is inspired by Superman. His home is literally the Fortress of Solitude. There's a good, the bad, and the ugly movie Homage. One of the imp variations is straight up just Mass Effect, thanks to EA being a publisher of both. Not to mention, the base imp is just straight up Titanfall, which was hot at the time. Another one near and dear to my heart, the little Easter egg referencing Achievement Hunter. Thank you, boys, for the memories, by the way. Anyway, rant over. Like I said, man, I could show you more, I could tell you more, but I want you to see it for yourself. Both of these games are either on sale, you know, dirty cheap, or they're included in Game Pass or EA Play, so peep them. Especially if you got some friends looking to play something different, put these on your radar. You'll thank me later. These game hubs could have just been main menus to select from, and that definitely can work. I don't want to diss main menus. There's so many iconic main menus to appreciate from all of gaming, and I won't discredit them. But credit where credit is due. If you're a developer that takes the time to add this additional layer onto your game,
you have my thanks.
Also, honorable mention to almost every 3D Mario game, by the way. Super Mario Sunshine and 64 are, you know, two of my favorites. But what about you? Comment down below what game hubs you've spent a lot of time in, and I'll see you on the next one.